Hey YouTube, it's me from Bam's Tactical, and today I want to talk to you about why I chose the Armalite M15. Alright, so this is going to go a lot like my Glock 19 video, why I chose the Glock 19. I'm going to answer 5 questions and it's going to tell you why I chose this rifle. And this is not for those of you who particularly are hunters. This is more for people who are looking for a fighting rifle to defend yourself with. Alright, so this was the first gun I ever bought. I got some snap caps in here just to show you how the gun works. If you're not familiar with AR-15s, this will explain a little bit to you why I chose one. Alright, so question number 1. Why should you own a firearm? The simple matter is you need something to defend you and your loved ones. You need the best means of protection because the bad people out there are going to use the best means to harm you. You can't count on police to take care of you because they investigate crimes after they happen. Alright? You call the police at your house, they're coming after the fact. Alright? That guy's already breaking into your house. You need something to defend yourself. The way I put it in my last video is signs, laws, people, these things don't stop bad guys with a gun. Bad guys with a gun are going to carry a gun whenever they wish to do harm, no matter what the law or what sign is posted out front. The only thing that stops bad people with guns is good people with guns. So get a gun. If you're going to get a gun, that brings us to question number 2. Why a fighting rifle? And the reason for getting a fighting rifle is because it is the best handheld stopper that we have as people, as a civilian market. You know, I'm not calling it a machine gun because we can't. You can own automatic weapons, yes, blah 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 blah. But the typical person who just runs down to Academy and buys a gun isn't going to be able to buy a machine gun. So I call it a fighting rifle because that's what you're using it for. You're using it to fight. You're using it to not just ward somebody off, scare them away. You're using this to fight and save a life. It may be your life, it may be a loved one's life. But that's why you're using this, to fight. Alright? The fighting rifle is the best way to do that. 1. Quick rate of fire. 2. High capacity magazines, or standard capacity magazines, 30 rounds. Most of them, and even the minimum ones, you know, the bigger rifles, they have 20 rounds. You can get 40, 50, 60, 100 round magazines for these fighting rifles. So you can put a lot of bullets down range really quick. They're easy to reload. They're good stoppers. Much better than handguns. They're better than shotguns too. They penetrate better into the flesh. And they're really the best thing that we have right now. Now, all the militaries across the world, their infantry are using fighting rifles. Alright, one version or another. So, you've decided that you want to get a gun. You are going to defend your family and your loved ones the best way possible. So, you ask, what caliber should I get? This is question number 3. And in my opinion, there's only 3 calibers we even need to talk about. And that's 223 or 5.56 NATO, what our typical AR-15s and M16s are, and our M4s now. We can talk about 308, the 7.62 by 5.1 NATO round. And we can talk about 7.62 by 3.9, which is the AK-47 round. So let me eliminate these as I go through. I'm going to eliminate the AK round just because ballistically it is not very good. I'm not saying you can't hit things at 300-400 yards with an AK. I'm not talking about how reliable AKs are. I'm just saying ballistically the physics of the round is not very good. It is shorter, it is fatter, it is more rounded at the tip. It does not fly as well as other rounds. Period. That is physics, that is math. You can't argue that. Now, the 308 and 223 becomes the discussion. And just like 45 9mm, the reason I chose 223 was because I knew I could shoot more rounds downrange cheaper. Now I understand you can get surplus 7.62x3.9 for cheaper than 223. Yes, but we've already talked about how it is a less superior round than the 223 or the 308. They are built better, they fly straighter over longer distances. Alright, so 223, 308. 308 is much heavier. It's almost twice as heavy per round. Good thing, it's got 3 times the mass in the bullet, but like I said, it's almost twice the cost when you're buying 308 over 223. And so for me, the first gun I was going to get, especially for a home defense round, because it is lighter and the guns are typically smaller and the recoil is much less, I went with the 223. And if you're looking at something for home defense, you want a smaller, more compact rifle that you can really shrink down so that you can make your way around corners real easily. You can raise it and lower it quickly. That makes you a little more maneuverable. Alright, so that's why I chose the 223. It's lighter, it's cheaper, the gun is smaller, the recoil is easier to handle, and for a first-time gun owner, I know some people are going to be like, well, you can learn to manage recoil. Yeah, you can learn to save money and buy 308 too. But we're talking about, guys, if you haven't bought a fighting rifle yet, you need to get one in 223. Alright, so we've decided you're going to get a gun. You're going to save a life. You're going to get a fighting rifle. You're going to get it in 223 because you like it to be a little smaller, lighter, and more manageable. So, fourth question. What brand do you get? I mean, you can go walk in the store. There's so many brands of firearms now. I mean, there's some great ones out there too. I've been looking into Spikes Tactical lately. I'll probably get one of those in the future. Colt makes good guns all the time. I didn't know where to start. So, ironically, I went back to the start. The people who designed the M16. I went back to Armalite. Armalite to me is, they were the original people who built this platform. They ended up selling those rights, those plans to Colt. Colt ended up getting the government contract to make them for our military. But Armalite designed them. So why not go to the people who did them first, right? I didn't know where to start, so that's where I started. I know it's not a great reason to follow in my footsteps, but now, hear me out. Here's a couple of things that since I've owned the firearms, I've realized I really enjoy. Number one, this is a 1 in 9 twist barrel. What does that mean for you? It means it likes to shoot the lighter weighted bullets, the 55 grain bullets, 50 to 55 grain. If you don't know much about ballistics, that's fine. Here's what you need to know. They're cheaper. Alright? They're easier to buy in bulk for small amounts. I buy 55 grain right now at the making of this. It's November 13th, 2015. I can get 1,000 rounds of 223 with brass shells. It's for $320-ish. Alright? You're buying 62 grain. The green tip monsters, those things, you're looking at 450-ish, 400. I've never seen it less than 400. And then we're halfway to 308. Might as well just get a 308. Those barrels that I'm talking about that shoot the 62 grains are 1 in 7 twists. Colts are all 1 in 7 twists. The Spikes are all 1 in 7 twists. These other brands, they want the bigger, heavier ammo. That's what our military is using now, though. They're using the 62 grain bullets. That's what we're issuing our soldiers. So, it's fine. Uncle Sam's got a lot bigger pocketbook than I do. Alright, so I want those 55 grain ones for training. I want my 1 in 9 twist barrel. I wanted my Armalite. Here's another reason why I chose the Armalite. See if you can see this. It's got a 2-stage trigger. So what that means is the trigger will walk a little bit. It looks like it's wiggling. Alright, and then when I'm ready, trying to get a little closer for you here, it walks a little bit, and when I'm ready to fire, then it goes to the second stage. So, show you again. It's got about a 3-pound pull for the first stage, and then the second stage is about a 5-pound pull. What I like about this is while I'm aiming down at a target, when I get it centered in, I can take the slack out of the trigger, and then at the last second when I'm ready for it to go, I can just press it to the rear, and I know exactly when that trigger is about to go. All right, I love two-stage triggers. I wish I had more of them. I'll get them. This gun, though, one of the reasons I chose it, came stock with a two-stage trigger. So I didn't have to spend that extra money, because I know people are like, oh, build your own AR, and you can put all this stuff in there you want. Well, this one came with a two-stage trigger, so I didn't have to buy it extra. This one is an older model of the same gun, and I had to install a two-stage trigger on this one. Because after I started using a two-stage trigger and I went back to a one-stage trigger, I hated it. I love these things. Here's another reason why I like the Armalites up, especially this model. This has a mid-length gas system. So, if you don't know how the AR guns work, as the bullet travels down the barrel, it's burning powder and it's speeding up and it's going faster and it's building up all this pressure. And there's a block in here where gas comes out and it goes down this tube and it hits this bolt carrier that you can see right here and it pushes it back. The gas does. The longer the gas tube or the gas system, the more reliable it is. This is the problem with the shorter barrel M4s. Right? The gas system is so short. This is why M16s, when they were first built, had 20-inch barrels. The gas system was longer. Alright? This is a mid-length gas system. They're actually pretty hard to find on rifles. Most rifles either just have the short M4 ones or the long full rifle ones. You know, you see some ARs and they've got that bayonet lug and all that, and then they've got the very short handguard that ends about right here. They've got a very short gas system. So here we go. Armalite. Two-stage trigger. They came up with the design first. I got me a mid-length gas system. That's why I chose Armalite. And what I ended up choosing was the Armalite M15 A4CB. M15 is their version of the AR-15. That's just what they call it. I don't know if you can see it on here, but it's actually got M15 on the block there. It's made in America. A4, it's their flat top design, so you can add any optics on there you wanted. As you can see here, I've got an Aimpoint Comp M4 S. The battery's on the low end. You can put any kind of optics on there. You can put flip up iron sights. You can put the old carry handle. This is actually the same model. This carry handle is not stuck on there. It is added to there. You can see the screws here where it's just screwed on there onto the rail with another sight on the front just screwed on. You can go traditional iron sights like that. I like shooting those. Those are fun to me. This one's a little easier to get on aim though. The rail, you can replace the handguard, as you can see here, the original handguard I took off. Put me a rail on there. Now I can put other accessories. I've got a light on here. I've got a bipod that I can put on there. I only put it on there when I take it to the range. It works better than sandbags. So that's why I got the A4. The CB stands for carbine in black. The carbine, so it's got the adjustable stock here, and it also has the 16-inch barrel. So B was just for black. This one was actually just an A4C because it was a carbine length, but the furniture was all green. Now, as you can tell, it doesn't really matter what color AR I got because I custom camo painted both of them, but that's why I chose the A4CB. I could customize it. I put a grip on here, I put a light on here, I put a red dot sight, mid-length gas system. It's got an adjustable stock so you can bring it in if you're trying to be in tight quarters. You can lengthen it out when you're trying to take those long distance shots. It's real reliable. I've only had it foul up on me a couple of times, and that's because I was shooting in the rain, and at that point I was only using oil on my guns. I know, rookie mistake, grease is the way to go, ever since I started using grease, I haven't had to clean them as much, and I haven't had any kind of stoppages, and I still shoot in the rain. I still shoot in 100-degree heat in August. Never had a problem with it. So ARs are still very reliable. I know that you've got your AK guys out there and your AR guys out there, and they'll argue until the sun comes up about which one's better. Here's the deal. This gun's made in America. Our American troops use these guns. The police in our country use these guns. Anything you want, you can find for these guns in the U.S. somewhere. This charging handle here is not actually the stock charging handle. This is a Raptor charging handle. This is a stock one. Raptor, you can switch them out. There's no big deal. They got the same type bolt carrier groups in there, and it doesn't matter. Alright? Put a rail on it. Don't put a rail on it. Iron sights, red dot, doesn't matter. You can find anything that fits an AR because this is what we use in America. You want an AK? Awesome. They're starting to make more AK stuff, but it's still not near as much as the AR stuff. There's starting to be more and more people who buy AKs, but there's still not as many people who own AKs as own ARs. I bought this because it's American gun, it's American ammo, it's American parts. I know it's not an American site, but that's okay. And the parts are plentiful. The people who know how to use these are plentiful. Just about anybody I know who is a gun guy knows how to work an AR. You can't go wrong if your first fighting rifle is an Armalite AR15. So, with that being said, go get you one. Alright, go get you a fighting rifle so you can defend you and your loved ones. It's not about taking a life, it's about saving a life. You never know when that bump in the night's going to come, and at that point it'll be too late for you to go get a gun, and by the time the police get there it'll be too late to save you and your loved ones. So, don't wait any longer. Go get a gun. Alright, and that's why I chose the Armalite M15 A4CB. Just go look up Armalite sites, they got all kinds of stuff. They got all kinds of AR-10s and stuff like that. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you subscribe to the channel. Like the video if you enjoyed it. Leave a comment if you have any questions or you just want to drop by and say, hey, trying to get more videos out all the time. Been pretty busy, but about to have some breaks here coming up, so I'll try to get some more videos posted. Hope to see you around. Remember, people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do. Thanks for watching.